Now, I would want us to talk about the import scams that you might fall into. Hi, hey good people, once again, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, that is Just Ray, kindly subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that anytime I upload a video or anytime I'm going live, you can always know that I'm in there, so that you can watch and learn a few things from me. Now, I did a live and I was talking about the things that the scams, the import scams that you're supposed to take care of yourself so that you may not fall into them or fall for them. I really don't know the right word to use there. So I decided to just create a very nice video talking about it, because the other one was a live. So the other one was just a live. So let me just do this video so that it can help most of you. They are the import scams, oftenly used by scammers, and we are just going to get into the right the number one scam that you're likely to get yourself into. And each is, I've written them down, so if you see me just like looking in here, straight in here, I'm just trying to check so that I can communicate the right thing. The first thing you can do to lose money as you try to do your imports is swiping your cards and paying suppliers directly or using Western Union, or probably using a money grab. They are not official ways of paying for goods. They are not official ways of paying for goods. If you want to pay for your things in China or on Alibaba, kindly use a bank transfer. It's much safer. Go to the bank. You will see that there are requirements that the bank do require so that they can do a direct transfer. They are there to protect you. They are there to protect you. So always pay for your things directly via the bank transfer. For the Kenyans, you can use M-Pesa. It's a very official way of paying for your goods in China. It's hard for you to lose money if you use those methods. As I told you earlier, I remember a case last year when I paid for goods in China, and it happened that the company's bank account was frozen. Me and a few others are the only people that got their money back, because we had used a very official way of paying for the goods in that country. We got our money reversed back to our account. People that had used those methods, that is Western Union and all those others, bureaus and all that, they lost all the money that they had invested in that business. So be very careful. Okay, let's go to scam number 2. The imports and exports WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, where you just join and there's a person there who is always posting pictures. You just have to mention the thing that you want it to be imported in the country. You pay for it and you wait for your goods. So many people have lost money using that method. Chances are, even the person who is trying to import the item for you, chances are they are not even people that have ever gone to China, or they even don't know how to go about it. And that is why most of you end up losing the money, or they're always giving you excuses. This has happened, this has happened. So be very careful. And it is hard to specialize both on imports and exports. If you ever see someone who knows everything about imports and exports, because those are two totally different entities, they operate in a very different way. So be very careful. That's all that I have to tell you. Don't pay for things in a group and expect them to be shipped to you. Instead, just go to Alibaba and just shop for yourself. It's as simple as that. Also, I've ever seen situations where I don't know the formula that those people do in their way of trying to do imports, and the money that they give you or the charges that they give you to import things for you. So be very careful. Let's go to point number 3, scam number 3. There's this story that I always hear people saying, or people have been told that the ports have been closed, or if it's not the port that have been closed, they'll always tell you that China is not working, China is on lockdown. It is true that the Chinese right now are on lockdown and the borders have been closed. But when it comes to cargo flights and vessels that ship things to the places that we are in, Not even a single day that they have ever been closed. I'm telling you, even in the height of COVID in 2020, we used to do our imports as usual. Maybe the only difference was the dollar went up, so it affected us in one way or another. Or maybe the time frame that we used to use to get our things extended for a few days, but we always get our products. So if ever someone tells you that China have closed, you know, you can get your goods because, you know, China, things are not happening, people are not going to China, just know that that is a story for another day. They should give you back whatever you gave them, so that you can do your imports and it is not affected. Yeah, COVID has affected, but COVID has never made like the ports functions to be completely closed. We always get our things on time. Another scam is that the ports have been closed. The port in your country has been closed. You wait for your goods for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. That is not how it is done. That is not how it is done. If you're using consolidation, the maximum time I think you can wait for your goods, it's at least 60 days. That is a max of 60 days. So when you talk of months, I really don't know the method that that person used. Chances are, most of those groups that you get yourself into and allow people to import things for you, they really don't know how to go about it. So one thing, your goods can be held hostage by the customs. Maybe they didn't meet the standards, or maybe something just happened that they lost all that cargo. But stories of like, oh, the ports have been closed and all that, there's nothing of this sort. Okay. Another thing, for you guys that will be importing things from Alibaba, the first thing that you're supposed to ask an Alibaba supplier, and I've taught in the Telegram group, the Telegram class, and if you haven't joined our Telegram class, please join it so that you can learn more and more and more. So one thing that you're supposed to ask your supplier is to give you the contacts, the phone number. If you ever see a supplier who is delaying to give you like the number, that's a red flag. Be very, very careful. Reason being, I've already given you an agent in China. If anything happens, they cannot be able to track down that supplier if they don't have the physical address and if they don't have the phone number. So one thing that a supplier should always give you is their physical address in that pro forma invoice. Some of you, a supplier is going to prepare pro forma invoice with no physical address. That is one thing that you should avoid as much as you can. In case anything happens, you cannot get help. So do it as I have taught you in the Telegram group. And by the way, before we even proceed, we are having our conference on 10th of December. I'm going to post down the details for the conference down on the comment section, and I'm going to pin it. Also the Telegram class, just join the Telegram class and learn how to do your inputs so that you can do it the right way, right? And come to our conference. When it comes to joining the Telegram class, it favors every person all over the world. Doesn't matter whether you're in Australia, you're in wherever country that you're in, you will be sorted once you join the Telegram class. Another scam, let me just have a look at the points. Now this goes, this one, this is the biggest and the worst scam of all times. If you ever load a container, be very, very careful of the clearing agents. Let me say that. When you ever load a container, this is for the big business people. If you ever load a container, be extra cautious of the clearing agents. Once again, make sure you sign an agreement before you give them the mandate of clearing your cargo. Those are the people that have made people lose containers at the port. Those are the people that have made the customs to find people big time. That is a person who can mess your life completely until you die out of stress or depression. This is what happens. When in the process of trying to load a container, you have to have an agent, a clearing agent from the country of origin. That is maybe China or any other country that you'll be trying to ship your things from. I've given you that agent, but you also need a local agent to deal with your customs to clear the goods for you. At least for the Chinese one, they can never mess you up, but locally they can always mess you up. Sign an agreement with them. Another thing, no clearing agent should always ask you that, you're supposed to pay this amount of money to your customs, but if you give me this amount of money, this can reduce to this. Please try to be as straight as you do your businesses as possible. Otherwise, you're going to pay for it. You are going to pay for it big time. Once again, no clearing agent should sit you down and tell you, maybe after the entry has been prepared and you see you're supposed to pay duty and the VAT and all that, you're supposed to pay, example, 1.6 million to clear that container. Then your agent tells you that you are supposed to, if you give me like 400,000, this can go down all the way to 500. You're going to lose all that money. Instead, try to be as straight as possible. There is no shortcut when it comes to the customs. There is no shortcut when it comes to the customs. If the money that, if an agent prepares a cargo manifest for you, just go pay whatever you're supposed to pay to your government so that you can be as clean as possible with no blemishes, so that you can just get your cargo out of the customs without like the idea of you have to give someone some amount of money and all that. Try to document everything. When you're paying for the customs, remember, you are supposed to pay directly to the government's bank account, right? You are not supposed to give it to anyone else. You send some money to someone to pay for you. Never ever do that. They're supposed to give you the document that you're supposed to use to pay for your goods. Take the document to the customs, to the bank. We have specific banks that you can pay for the customs, like KCB and National Bank. Just go and pay for your goods, get the receipt, share the receipts with your agent. That is a place that you can mess up big time. They are supposed to take liability in case they mess you up. They are the ones to take the liability. If they have to pay you, they have to pay you. If they end up putting some HS codes that probably you have imported cups and they put the HS codes of something like spoons so that your VAT can go down, your duty can go down. In case anything happens, they are the people that are supposed to take liability. You can even sue them as early as possible. So be very cautious, because so many people have lost containers of items. So many people, customs have held hostage of their products just because of a clearing agent. Use a company that is registered, do your background check, and do the right thing. Also, it happens to the customs. You may find a custom officer telling you that, oh, you can give me this amount of money and I'll sort you when it comes to this. Please don't even entertain that. If you want to be out here for a longer time, if you want to become a better business person, please try to do things as straight as possible. That is the biggest scam of all times. I've seen people crying day and night because of that. Even I myself, I've ever paid some fine. Just because of that. And I remember, I'm a very straightforward person, and I remember when I was paying for that fine, they had indicated, I was shipping in some medical equipment for a hospital, and for the mattresses, hospital mattresses, they had indicated something different. I think they had not indicated they are supposed to be used in the hospital, so they attracted some duty, and I had to pay, and I was even fined for that. And that was the fault for that had occurred because of the agent. And I remember I had to get myself at the customs and just went there and just asked them what I'm supposed to do and get me the receipts, and I paid whatever I was supposed to pay, and I got out of there. I remember the agent was giving me some stories, oh, I'm supposed to give this person some amount of money, no. And I just told her, you know what, no. If there's something that I'm supposed to pay to the government, let me just pay the thing that I'm supposed to pay to the government. So always be very straightforward so that they cannot come after you. So that is the biggest scam of all times. And with that said and done, I think I've shared all the scams that you're supposed to be careful not to go through. And nothing much. Is there anything that I can't remember? I think I've already addressed everything. So be careful, do the right thing at the right time. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go follow me on LinkedIn. Go follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I always say that in each and every page that I have, I always post something different, but something beneficial that is going to help you in one way or another. So bye bye and have a lovely one.